the strongest decision sometimes is I'm going to have to just weather the storm and not fold, not break. I've got a gentleman who's maybe got 4 months left. His approach is if I've only got 4 months, it's going to be the best 4 months of my life. That to me is strength that only hard decision making can kind of reveal. I've made the decision to smile, enjoy every single day and try and just give out as much positivity as I can because that's the decision that I've made.
When everything screams to quit, what makes you choose to keep going?
Today, we dissect the unbreakable will, how daily decisions can rewire your brain for ultimate resilience. Welcome to Decisions That Count. I'm neuroscientist Dr. Sean Watson.
And I'm Michelle O'Brien, and our guest, Javeno McLean, transforms lives through fitness with disabled, elderly, and sick clients. He guides people through battles we can hardly even imagine.
We'll explore perseverance and the cognitive load of decision fatigue and making that ultimate decision to not quit. Javeno's going to take us through how some people have made that decision and how dramatically different their lives have become.
Javeno, welcome to Decisions That Count.
Thank you for inviting me. This is a lovely feel. This is a good energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good.
Thanks for coming down to London for us. We're just excited that you're here.
I'm excited to be here, guys, honestly.
And before we get in, and I'm going to get all soft on you straight away, you make me really, really proud to be Manc. And, you know, I've lived in Asia now for 11 years and, you know, people ask me, what's Manchester like? It's never about the city. It's always about the people. Yeah. And you try to describe just salt of the earth, people, the community, like we'll do everything for each other. And I've lived in many other countries and cities around the world, and there's nowhere like it.
Yeah, it's the best place.
And you just embody that with the work that you do.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
That's like the first thing she told me when we initially saw your profile. So
I was like, he's a man.
She was very proud. Yeah.
So proud. So, you know what, before we just kind of get into all of the questions, just tell us a little bit about your work.
See, when I get asked this question, it's a weird one to answer because I get a little bit, not embarrassed, but my work is just human work. It's work that is so simple. I've become the #1 trainer in the world for exercise specialist in the world for training the disabled and the disadvantaged. I've not done it with my degrees. I've got a few degrees like him. Not as clever as him, but I've got a couple. But I've not done it with academics. I've not done it with anything else. I've just done it with heart and love and just noticing and seeing people for who they are. Because one thing with me is that I'll never ever hide who I am. I can only be me. I'll only ever speak from the heart. So whether it's here now, whether it's on a Zoom, whether it's in person, I don't care about none of this. When it comes to my work, it's the only time in my life that I feel I can just truly express and be myself. That's why I don't really do the nerves or get shy. But with my work, I just think it's important that people know they deserve we're all living a human experience, every single person. And it breaks my heart that some people don't get to live the full human experience the way they should because of barriers and issues that they can't control. And I think it's unfair. So I just try my best to give people happiness and love and joy and make people just feel like they can do whatever they want, whenever they want. If they find something that they can't do, find a way of overcoming it.
Let's talk a little bit about that human experience. What do you mean by that some people don't get to have that?
I'm a man of basic principles when it comes to myself, when it comes to my family, when it comes to my facility. When you do ever come to Manchester, I want to come to my gym. In my gym, my facility, I've got loads of bonsai trees. Right? Got a big, massive bonsai tree. Because that reminds me of a very important decision to nail the basics. So that bonsai tree, I bought it from IKEA. Bought it from IKEA 9 years ago. And the reason why I've got that bonsai tree, and I've got one at home and I've got one in the other part of the gym, is it reminds me to make the decision to nail the basics. If you do the basics, life can be so amazing. So that bonsai tree doesn't need a huge amount of maintenance. Every morning, water it. If it gets too big, trim it. Just do the basics, and it's just gone into this big, massive, beautiful tree. And with me, the basics of life is just being seen, being listened to, being loved. And it sounds corny, but I genuinely believe it's the truth. But somebody believing in you, somebody actually noticing you, somebody actually giving a crap about the words that are coming out of your mouth, somebody actually interested in how you're feeling, somebody interested in if you need to change the direction, just somebody being interested in your life. That is so basic. And I think nowadays, just like we spoke about the speed of life, the speed of London, the speed of different cities, the speed of life can sometimes make you go, do you know what, I'm just doing all of this. Let me just do the basics of just showing somebody some attention and actually listen to the words that are coming out of someone's mouth. And that there is a simple formula that it's changed my life, but it's helped me change millions of people's lives around the world.
Yeah, I love it. You're right. It sounds simple when you say it, but like it seems like culture and society is going the other direction, right?
Yeah.
Less and less human. But I couldn't agree more. There's so much more to being human, and you just described the most important bits for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of with the disabled and disadvantaged people, that maybe decisions get taken away from them. Yeah. You know, people make assumptions, don't allow them to voice what they want. Mm-hmm. And I think from what I see of your work, that's what you do. You hold space for them.
Yeah. Decision making it's a tricky subject. This is why when I knew this was going to be a good podcast and platform, because the conversation, I knew it would link in with everything that you guys believe and think, and it links in, because decision making is something that it's a bit of a challenge for me every single day, because for people to understand me, my energy is nuts, but that comes at a price because I'm seeing things that other people don't see. So I make decisions every day about how I'm going to train, how I'm going to live, what I'm going to eat. And we've become a little bit weak as humans, because guess what? Some of the decisions that we've got to make, they are nothing. They're not big decisions. Just make them. Because guess what? Whether it's right or wrong, you're good. You're cool. I come across people who've got to make some decisions that I can't even put into words now. I can't even put into words the kind of decisions that I come across every single day. The kind of pain that I've got to kind of absorb every single day. But when you care about people and you see the heartbreaking decisions that they've got to make, them hard decisions just kind of expose the most strongest humans you've ever seen in your life. And this is why that's why I've said it a million times. You're never going to see me boasted about how much I bench press, how much I deadlift. You're never going to see me with my top off, flexing my muscles, trying to show. I'm never, because that to me is not strength. I've got a 5-year-old right now whose parents have got to make the decision. Who's got a terminal illness, man. 5 years old. The parents ain't got no choice when it comes to decision making. The parents ain't got no choice. That's the decision that nobody ever wants to make that kind of decision. But what do you do? So the strongest decision making is sometimes not even picking which way to go. So the strongest decision sometimes is I'm gonna have to just weather the storm and not fold, not break. I've got 2 beautiful boys. You got kids. We do anything for our kids, but when you're forced to be in a position where the decision's out of your hands, so decision making, it reveals the strongest people. I'm not there yet. I think I'm strong, and I think I'm this person, and other people will also think that they're this caliber of person. Cool. I'm reminded every single day of real strength purely based on the decision making that I see and the kind of decisions. I see parents who ain't crying. I'm crying. I see parents who ain't folding. I'm folding. You're telling me about what you're going through with your kid, and I'm folding, but you ain't folding. You made the decision to just firm it out and hold it for the sake of that beautiful child. That to me is strength that only hard decision making can kind of reveal. And people give up, man. This is the thing. People give up. We live in a society where people give up. But you've got the choice to thrive and level up in anything. It could be work, it could be your personal, it could be, obviously in my field, is health. So don't tell me you can't get better. You've got the choice and you've been given the greatest platform to succeed, most of us. Oh, I've put on some weight. Oh, I want to be fit, or I want to do this. There's nothing actually stopping you. You just got to make the simple decision to commit to the gym, to commit to eating better, commit to living better. That decision is easy because there's nothing that you ain't got no pressure that's crushing on you. Real hard decision making, this is the way I kind of see it. The decision making that most of us have got to go through is decision with no pressure. So it's like standing in the field, open arms, and you're going, okay, where do I want to go? I can go there, I can go north, east, south, or west. Either way, I'm good, I'm not going to fall. Where the decision making that I see people doing is they're on the cliff and they're leaning over and they're getting held on by a thread. So they've got to make that decision whether to commit and go all the way down and take themselves, give up their lives, give up everything that they know. There's no either way you fucked. I've had kids with different illnesses. I've got people, man. I've got youngsters who have got degenerative diseases who, one of my girls knows, she's only 22. She knows she's not going to be here at 30. She knows she's not going to be here at 30. She's cool with it, though. She's made the decision not to let it smother her fire. She's made the decision not to let it stop her human experience. That's the strength of God's for me. That's the strength of 25 Eddie Halls. That's the strength of 100 gorillas to me. You made the decision to keep on living and keep on persevering forward. Most of us don't have to. I don't know how I would cope in them situations. And I'm very lucky, touch wood, that I've never been in. But when I'm reminded of that kind of decision making that reveals that kind of strength, that kind of focus, that kind of human, that's why my energy's so up all the time, because I'm around greatness like that. On the flip side, I'm around the darkness and I'm seeing the pain and the struggle of most people. And that's why I kind of go every single morning. I go, God, there's no reason for Javeno to be moody, to be down. You know, when you meet people on the flat with the energy, I'm just grateful for being me. And I think when you have that kind of attitude to life, just be grateful for who you are, because I never had to make a decision on what casket to bury my son in. I've never had to make the decision of what medication that my sons will need. I've never had to make, obviously simple medication, but I'm talking, I've never had to make the decision on end of life care for my kids. I've never had to make them decisions, touch wood, I've never had to make. So therefore I've made the decision to smile, enjoy every single day, and try and just give out as much positivity as I can, because that's the decision that I've made.
The reason we started this podcast was to try to get people to focus more on the power of their decision making, to reignite a belief that our decisions matter. But from what you just said there, I mean, I'm humbled in the sense of I don't think we've anticipated this type of impact or the level of it, because what you just described is heart-wrenching. But it's empowering to some degree to know that people can make such terrible, horrible decisions. And there's incredible strength there. So I'm totally humbled from what we started for this podcast. I don't think I ever had the insight to look into this level of it.
I think it's about being present. I think decision making is, and honest to God, this is not just saying it because we're here. I think about this stuff all the time. So with decisions, I'm a very present person. I get asked all the time on TV interviews and stuff, what's for the future? What are you going to do? I said, I don't care. I only care about now, this minute. I'm not thinking about tomorrow, my decision, because if I'm not thinking about that. When I first started doing what I'm doing 23 years ago, I did used to look at the future a bit too much. But then I got into situations. I'll never forget when I was about, I think I was maybe 19 when I first trained my first real dementia client. And this old West Indian gentleman, he's from Barbados. Every time I used to talk to him, you think of dementia and you think straight away, okay, memories and what can I do to make him remember? And I remember he said to me, he clocked on what I was doing. He's not a stupid man. He knew what I was doing. He said, every time I speak to you, you want to talk about growing up in Barbados and my life when I was younger. He said, don't worry about that. I said, concentrate on me right now because I remember you right now. I hear you. I'm with you. I'm involved with you right here, right now. So let's talk about that. And it made me go, that's the decision that I should, going forward, that's what I'm going to have to do. Make the decision to be as present as possible because that is where the beauty is. I was missing a lot of the beautiful conversations because I'm trying to be a good person and trying to go, Curtis, you remember when you was in Barbados and what was your childhood like? What was school like? What friends was you? I'm digging into the past where the beauty was I'm sitting down with him and say, yo, big man, so what did you have for your breakfast? Where are you going today? Oh, I'm going to go to the Asda. I'm going to go to the Barbers. And then I met this guy that was talking about cricket. And then I met, you know what? I had some good mangoes. I went to the market and I got some. He opened up even more. Because when I'd made the decision to be present, it opened up so much more vocabulary for him, so much more personality. Because he may not remember 1965, 75 in Barbados, but he remembers yesterday when he went to the markets, the people that he spoken to, the interactions that he had, the laughs that he had, the man that got him mad, the woman that cut him up in the car park, that he remembers that. So I think a long time ago I made the decision to, even with just normal civilians, not just people that are disadvantaged or disabled, just be as present as we can.
Yeah.
I think it's a good decision to make.
I think that applies to like all of your clients though as well, right? Like, you know, the ones that are maybe not going to be here in a week or a year or 5 years, you know, but they're here now.
Yeah.
And they've made the decision to be there with you, training with you. They need you to be present in that moment too, right?
Definitely.
I love that.
Being present kind of takes me away from my soul. Because I've said it a million times to people as well, I don't know how to deal with. I can't lie and say I'm a strong person, don't get me wrong, I'm very strong mentally. But dealing with people's pain on an extreme level like the way I do every day, I'm learning how to deal with it. I try not to take it home with me as much as I can, but I feel like sometimes you go, the world's a horrible place. The world's become a really bad place. Just mean people that just don't care, people that are just doing things for money all the time, people that I've had disabled girls, beautiful young girl who was in a terrorist attack. I don't want to say too much details and make people, but she was in a terrorist attack. She had people stepping over her wheelchair trying to save themselves. We're living in that kind of world. And if I stop and I think about it too much and I come out of the present, I get mad, I get angrier and angrier at how bad the human society can be. Look at all the stuff that's going on in the news. I don't even watch the news anymore because every time you watch the news, it's just bad human behaviour. Mm-hmm. People starving and wars, all this stuff that's going on. You go, what's going on? But when I'm present and I'm looking at just the wonderful stuff that I'm doing, it just makes me happy. I find happiness in the present. You can't not. Because what I've clocked on with my work, They are so powerful. The disabled people I train and disadvantaged people, they've got so much power and beauty. They've not even got a clue. They've got a presence about them that totally takes me out of my... It's like a fantasy world where you got reality is my anger towards human behaviour. They take me into a world because they've tricked me. Because originally I used to say to people, wow, this is what my job is. Okay? So God forbid you're a person who's ill, going through an illness or cancer. In 30 minutes, I'm going to create a world where you forget all of that. I'm going to create a world of fun in my gym where all we're going to do is laugh, smile, and just be great together and make you forget about your pain, your medication, anything that's going on. And in my quest to create that world for them, they've now created for me a world where I forget all the stuff that I'm going through. Do you know what I mean? So it's becoming like a bit of a vice versa. So when I'm with them, I don't feel no anger. Whether I'm going through personal stuff like anybody else, you can't help but just laugh and just be involved and be present. And when you're totally present, it's like being hypnotized.
Yeah.
You're just in a world of beauty and just good humans. You know what I mean?
I think I just want to go back into kind of like, or just all the horrible things that are happening in the world. And I think one of the reasons why your content it just goes so viral and people love it so much is not because they necessarily look at these people with sympathy. They're inspiring, you know. And I said to you on the call when we first met, like, I'm a crier, okay, but I'm not a crier at like sad things. I'm a crier at the part in the movie when all the heroes are beaten down. It looks like the villain is going to win. And you know what? They come together and they have that hero's moment, that one last push. Someone says something. There's like this moment of kind of motivational speech and they rally together and they do it. They have this huge push. Oh, I got goosebumps. They have this huge push and they overcome the evil and they win. And I get that same feeling, like that same when I watch your content and I watch your incredible clients. I get tears, not because of their sad story, because of just how incredible they are and your energy, and you are that kind of voice that helps the hero get there and has this moment. And I am absolutely sure I'm not the only person who looks at that content and feels that way. And it gives everybody hope.
I hope it does. I'm glad that people feel that way because I think it just, as humans, we're all connected, man. I think, and as I get older, I realise it even more now. As humans, there's certain things that connect us all. So it doesn't matter whether it's Sean in Canada, you in Singapore, big man over there in London somewhere. We've all, it could be a man in Jamaica, could be somebody in India, Australia, could be somebody that's black or white, it could be somebody that's disabled or able-bodied, it could be somebody that's Muslim, somebody that's Christian. Despite any of these variables, we all go through pain, we all go through heartache, and we all have to overcome a lot of things. So when I'm showcasing just humans overcoming stuff, not because they're disabled, not because they're in a wheelchair, they're just overcoming some shit. Sorry for swearing. It connects people. So I think when it resonates with people, not just disabled people, because as humans, we all have to overcome. We all have to make the decision to fight. Every single one of us have made the decision, even myself, to give up, to sit back and just let life just kind of punch and beat you up. And my guys show they've made decisions just to not let that happen, not let life get on top of them. When most of us, at some point, it has. Every single human, at some point, life's crushed us, and you want to give up, want to throw the towel in. My guys don't do that, man. Yeah. I've got a gentleman who's it's been maybe got 4 months left, and his approach is words won't do it justice. His approach is, if I've only got 4 months, it's going to be the best 4 months of my life. Jay, I'll see you on Monday. Don't take it easy on me, Jay. I'll see you on Monday. And then when Monday comes and we do what we're doing, next week I'm going to try and do 10 more, Jay. And I look at him and I kind of go, you're built. So, you know, when like nowadays the kids say built different. Decision making, it exposes people that are built in a way that when you see it and you're around it, you can't help but just be really humbled and shut up. And even somebody like me who's loud, who's got a big voice and big energy, I feel very inferior as a man. Not like nothing about size or muscle or nothing to do with that. As a human, as a man, every day I feel very inferior to everyone that I train. Mm-hmm. I train an 11-year-old girl who makes me feel like I'm the smallest person in the world. She's only small. She's got the maddest sense of humour. She's absolutely beautiful. She's beat leukemia. Then it's come back. She's been in hospital for about 4 months now. She grew her hair. So when I first met her, she had no hair. Then she grew it back, and then she started wearing the ponytails again and had the bobbles in her hair, and she was just loving being a little girl again. Loves pink. Got called back into hospital. She spent Christmas in the Christie's. Went to go see her. Spirit was up. The energy was up. And there was not one bit of give up in her. Because what I realise now is, you look at somebody, you know what they're on. We look through people nowadays. We look through people. I'm talking, if you stop and actually look deep at somebody when you're talking to him, you can see pain, you can see fear, you can see if they're struggling. You can see, I see it all the time where a lot of people kind of are just, they're fronting. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay, Jay. But when you're actually looking at him, you go, no, you're not okay. I can see. It's a lie, it's a front. So, and I do a lot of the times with a lot of my guys, I sit with him and I look at him as they're talking and I'll go, no, we're not training because you're telling me that you're okay and that you're all good. I can see through that mask. I said, you're not. And I always get it right. Okay, this is what's going on. And they tell me what's going on. With this little girl, there ain't one bit of give up in her. She's made a decision because she's been going through this battle and she thought she was over it. She's made a decision, you ain't going to beat me. I'm here. If I'm here for 3 months, cool. If I'm here for 3 years, cool. I see you when I get back, Jay. And I'm looking at her. She's young, small girl. Small. So petite and small. But her character, her voice, her energy, her personality is the biggest thing that I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. I mean, and as a big grown 40-year-old man who's a powerlifting champion, ex-professional athlete, I'm nothing to her. Mm. I'm nothing to her. And them kind of humbling situations, I swear, I think that's the kind of fuel to my fire that lets me do what I do.
Yeah, it has me thinking, man. Like I've spent my career, and we just talked about this on previous podcasts, is trying to understand the biology. There's this evolutionary mismatch, I call. How humans, 98% of our time was on the savannah. That's where humans were, right? So we evolved to and for. And now society has outpaced humanity, basically, from a science biology perspective. And now all the conditions we're trying to deal with, we talk about decision fatigue, but there's all these medical conditions that are popping up because we're living in a society that we weren't essentially designed for. Hearing you, though, so I almost feel like maybe I'm missing the point, because part of that evolutionary mismatch is the human component. Because, yeah, there's this biology discrepancy, and that's why a lot of people are sick. But I think, like, another part of this is we've left behind that humanity. And everything to me that you just described there, it seems like maybe that's another sacrifice of society today, is that spirit, that humanity, that character that you just so kind of eloquently described. So who cares about the science or biology if we lose our humanity? Not to have an existential crisis of my own career, but it's really moving to me because I've never thought about it that it's not just our bodies that were left behind. It could be our humanity a bit.
I think your science is very important. Imagine how powerful things would be if people just really put them together. I think right now they're just separated.
Well, would you rather be healthy and alone, or unhealthy and have that community, that humanity, those people around you? I know my answer, right? Not to take away from science. Of course, we need to still do it, but it gives us purpose and point, is that human connection.
But like, we are living through a loneliness epidemic right now.
Yeah.
Especially men. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then this is what a lot of your work as well is. A lot of people that come to you are lonely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of what you're working.
And do you know what? I was speaking about this last week. I seen the stats for a lot of men who are killing themselves. There's a lot of men recently, especially in I don't know, I'm not going to say especially in Manchester, but for my communities, a lot of men are killing themselves. A lot of people, and I think it's loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I've always said to people is, I love the NHS. I love the UK. I love the support that some people get, because in some countries they don't receive that. But one thing that knocked me sick was, how can you say to somebody, okay, if you come to the hospital for rehab, I'm going to give you 6 weeks, and then you've got... I don't agree with that. So I've done my work free for 23 years and never took a penny. But when I train my guys, one of the first things that I say to them is that you got me forever. You got me as long as you're willing to turn up to Javeno, I'll give you all of me. You ain't going to be... And they look at me and I go, it's usually 6 weeks in it. And I went, 6 weeks isn't enough time to build a forever friendship. 6 weeks isn't enough time to make you love me. 6 weeks isn't enough time to make you go. Do you know how far somebody will go when they know somebody believes in them? If somebody knows that you truly believe in them, they will go to the moon and back for you. I need more than 6 weeks. So a lot of my guys, they just feel such security knowing that, yeah, if I'm ill for 2 weeks, it's all good. I'm still going to get in with Jay. Oh, I've got to go on holiday. That's all right. There's not a countdown to when our time's going to finish. And I think that's one of the things that I'm very proud of.
Just something that you touched on then is, you know, I want to talk a little bit about your coaching. Mm. So when somebody comes to you and let's say they've been told they're never going to walk again, and they've made the decision to make the impossible happen, and you're the man that's going to get them there. Mm. Like, how, you know, they've made that decision, but how do you coach them through that? There are going to be good days and bad days.
Well, this is a thing where it gets a little bit tricky, where I'm not a magician. Mm. What I'm very good at is exposing the amazing in people that they've forgotten that they had. So now what I do get is people come to me for miracles. But one thing that I will never ever do is, you can't lose hope. I'll never let somebody lose hope. I'll never ever say to people, blunt and straight to the point, no, you'll never walk, you'll never do this. Nope. I hear what they say, but I'll never kill someone's dream. I'll never puncture someone's enthusiasm. I'll never smother someone's enthusiasm to get better. Some people, we have done quite a few miraculous things, but 9 out of 10 times, I just want you to do something amazing. So if you come to me and you maybe want to try and walk again, and that may not be a possibility, like just due to biology and physiology, due to what's going on with your body, that's fine. We're not going to address that. I don't care about what you can't do. I only care about what you can do. That's something that I say to every single person. I don't care about what you can't do. I guarantee with every molecule in my body, I'll find something amazing to showcase you. I'll find a way of doing something that makes you go, wow, was that me? And once you do that, we open up so many more other doors. So I never think about the other doors opening. All I'm only interested in is, what can I do to showcase to you that you're, one, stronger than what you thought you was, 2, you're more unbreakable than you ever thought you was. 3, you're actually amazing. If you take out all this crap that you've been through, medication, your wheelchair, your walking aids, the physiotherapy, all the bad experience that you've ever had and you've overcome them, you're actually a really resilient, amazing human. Let me showcase you that, because you've probably forgotten, like we all do sometimes. Even able-bodied people, you forget how actually, because it sounds big-headed, doesn't it? If you think about it, it sounds big-headed if you go, I'm actually amazing. I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that. Look at the stuff that you're doing. You're actually amazing. But guess what? If you say it out loud, you look a bit as if you're being boastful. So there's a thing that I do in my gym. I'll do it to you guys, actually. It'll be pretty fun. There's a thing that I do in the gym with every single person. Right. I'm going to do it with you first.
Go on.
Tell me 3 things that you like about yourself.
Creative.
Mm-hmm.
Pride myself on being hardworking. And I love unconditionally.
Good. What about you, Doc?
Oh, was it good?
It gets you thinking, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because we're in a society now where we're made to feel that you can't really celebrate how amazing we are without the fear of it maybe sounding boastful or arrogant.
Yeah.
But I think we should be comfortable saying that. So with my guys, I want them to say, you know what? I'm beautiful, Jay. Because society have made disabled people sometimes feel a bit ugly, a bit unwanted. So as humans, sometimes you feel a bit ugly and a bit unwanted. So make the decision to celebrate who you are. 3 things, Doc.
Duck. I think for me, loyal or dependable is probably 1. Curiosity. I really love that I like to learn, and I haven't really given that up. And I'll borrow Michelle's. I think the love part, which isn't something that comes easy, and I always have to work at. But that's the most incomplete part. But I think it's probably my strength that I like the most. Yeah.
I love that.
I learned from being a dad, I would say. That was parenting, like, before kids, I'd have 3 different things to tell you, probably.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of work. I had to do a lot of work on, like, learning to like myself and like who I was. Like, I wouldn't have been able to do this podcast 5 years ago.
Really?
Because I didn't like who I was. I didn't feel like I could be in front of a camera and, you know, talk and be open and be real. And, you know, it took a lot of work to kind of break that down and kind of build that back up and actually realize that mistakes have been made, but they came from a place.
How did you build it up? Because that's really surprising for me, because you're very confident. So 5 years ago, your confidence wasn't as high as what it is now.
I think my confidence is more of a mask than very true. But I actually did some EMDR therapy, which is eye movement desensitization therapy, to really get to the heart of times when I didn't like who I was, and really break that down and actually truly forgive myself for mistakes that I've made. And a lot of this came with my sobriety journey as well. So, like, I'm 3 years alcohol free. And I think a lot of that, when I stopped drinking, a lot of that kind of opened up and really revealed itself. And then there had to be a lot of forgiveness. And once I'd kind of gone through that forgiveness, I actually realised I was very proud of the person that I was becoming in my sobriety. And I started to really like who I was. And with that came confidence. And that, you know, I started another podcast called Upward Spiral about life after alcohol and exploring, you know, who I was becoming. And, you know, we're here now.
How about you, Duck?
Your 3 things.
Taking a mick out by accident. My 3 things. I've got, they change all the time. I love that I'm vulnerable. I love that I'm not afraid to show emotion. I love that I'm really, really strong. I'm really, really strong. Not. And when I say that, sometimes I think people might think, "Oh, wait, so I don't mean that. I mean, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, the stuff that I have to kind of absorb on a daily. Because when you care for somebody, you take their pain with you. If your kids was in hospital, and this is what I say to people all the time, it's not just the people that are trained, their families are with them. If someone's going through hospital appointments, surgeries, chemotherapy, that person's whole family are with them every step of the way. Yeah. They may not be the one who is physically taking the pills or the medication, but mummy and daddy, brother, sister, they're with you every step of the way. And I've become a person where, because my relationship is so solid with my clients, I'm there with them every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had to learn to be so mentally strong to absorb it and then use it to create something better. One of the things that I'm very proud of in myself is that, especially like at home, my wife doesn't know this, you know what I mean? And my mum and dad. For me, it takes a very, very strong person to... An example being, I'll have to give you the example so you know what I mean. Do you know, like, I'm Jamaican, so they've got a little saying in Jamaica that says misery needs company. Have you ever heard that before?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now, in one day, I've spoken to 3 people that were this was about 2 weeks ago, 3 people that were terminally ill. One person who just lost a mum. And 2 people that were suicidal, right? All disabled people, by the way. I did that all in one day. By the end of the day, I was so emotionally, I was sad, man. I was beat up. It takes a very, very strong person to go home, put it on pause, and then, hey, babe, hey, kids, what's going on? And then go into daddy mode. I'm not going to bring that misery and put it on somebody else. Does that make sense? I know you're supposed to go home as when you go home with your partner and you shout, hey, babe, what have you done today? What have you done today? My stuff, even though on the surface it's amazing and it's fun, people don't see the stuff that I'm telling you now because I don't put that on social media because it's no one's business. It's a private thing. But I still have to deal with it. And I'm proud of myself that I could easily be the person that goes home. Mm-hmm. And, hey, babe, how's your day? Oh, babe, I've spoken to 3 people with terminal illnesses. I spoke to 2 people who are suicidal. And then it becomes a misery show at home. Mm-hmm. And then before you know it, you're back in work. That's going to affect your mood, and that's going to affect what I give out to people. So I'm proud that I've become so strong that I can take in, absorb pain, difficulty, struggle, work, fold it all up, create something, add a bit of me to it, add a bit of personality, some shit dad jokes, add a bit of this, add a bit of that, make it something bigger and better, put it back out there, and it's joyous. And I don't take it home with me. And I think that's just something I'm proud of, that mental strength that I never knew I had.
Maybe double click, because I'm really curious because being a dad, like I said, it changed everything for me. With all of your experiences that you've had, what 3 things that you want to impart on your kids as a dad, that your experiences has taught you?
Normality. That's my main thing.
Okay.
One thing that somebody said to me many years ago, one of the first disabled people I trained, and I tell this story all the time. He was just a young lad who was in a wheelchair and he was just being a lazy git. And I went over and I kind of put it on him. I said to him, you're not using the 2 kgs, you're going to get these 4s. And I made him kind of do a bit more. And his dad came over to me at the end, and his dad was a big dude. He looked like he was from Canada. Canadians are big dudes. If you notice, everyone in Canada is massive. Look like lumberjacks. They're huge. Yeah. But he was a big dude, and I thought he was gonna punch me, and he just gave me a big cuddle, and he said, "All we want as a parent is to treat our kids normal. All we want is the world to just treat our boy normal." And with my sons now, because especially my 3-year-old, I got a 10-year-old and a 3-year-old. My 10-year-old is good as gold, angel. My 3-year-old he's going to prison. He's a devil. He's a psycho. He's nuts.
We're recording.
Oh, yes. Go on. I want him to see it when he's older. I want him to see it. But my 10-year-old is, because he's seen daddy do this for so long, when he comes into the gym, he doesn't stare at wheelchairs. He doesn't stare at somebody who's got a limp. He doesn't stare at somebody who's got an obvious disability. He walks in, hey, what's going on? He spuds him. You okay? He gets involved. The other day we had a race. Him and one of my youngsters called Noah, who's got cerebral palsy. Him and Mason had a race. Mason knows he's disabled. He humours him. He sees him as normal. He sees him as just another kid. He doesn't see him as a disabled kid. And one thing that I'm really proud of is that normality, just teaching my kids to treat people normal, because I think it's the biggest compliment when you treat somebody just normal and you see him for a human rather than a disabled person, if that makes sense.
I love it, because I think that's going to apply to not just disabled or able, to religion, color, creed. I imagine your boys are going to look through all that and see the human underneath. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I really like that. Yeah.
I think on the other side of that, when you talk about normality, though, as well, is, you know, the people who are maybe coming towards the end of their life, and it's the things that they want are the normal things. You know, it's getting up and making yourself a cup of tea, going for a walk around the block. And, you know, I've noticed that, you know, I write 5 things I'm grateful for at the end of every day. And 99% of the time, it's the most normal things. I'm grateful for the sun on my face. I'm grateful I got to walk the dog. You know, I'm grateful that I got to put my kids to bed and I had, cuddles. We got to read stories. I'm grateful for the food on my plate. You know, it's the normal things that's the moments of connection. It's those things that I think the older you get, the more you value, and you're more at the end of the day. Everything else is just noise and stuff. You don't need it.
Doubling back on what we said earlier on when I was talking about basics.
Yeah.
The most beautiful things in life are basic things that bring normality.
Exactly.
And I think we sometimes forget that. And with my guy, look at some of the stuff that I do with my guys. I just want to give them normal experiences, man. It breaks my heart that some of them have missed out on normal experiences. So guess what? You may not have fully working legs. I'm going to find a way for you to kick this football so you can pretend to be David Beckham in a World Cup final. You may not have fully working hands. I'm going to find a way for you to shoot this basketball and feel like Michael Jordan in 1996 for the Chicago Bulls. You may not have fully working arms, but I'm going to find a way of playing golf where you're going to hit the golf ball. I'm going to find a way to give you the most normal, beautiful, fantabulastic experience that is memorable. And in normality, the power is just so everlasting. The memory will be so everlasting. Some of my most wonderful memories with my guys are not doing crazy things. They're not doing ridiculous exercises. They're just doing simple, normal exercises that young kids would be doing anyway that they've probably missed out on. They've probably sat back and they've told me this with their own mouths. I get a bit jealous when I watch kids playing football because I know I can't. I feel a certain way, Jay, because I know that I'll never be able to run and I'll never be able to shoot a basketball. And when I heard them kind of things many years ago, I made a promise to myself is before they ask me, I never want a kid to say that to me again. I never want a person to say to me, oh, I feel a bit jealous because I see other kids can do the A, B, C, and I know I can't. So I've written down in my notebook a list of 47 things that I see kids doing. Like my kids. Park, swings, kicking a football, basketball. I've written them all down. And I said, before you open your mouth, if you're a youngster, let me give you one of them experiences. And I've ticked off every single one of them list. And I've done that because I don't ever want a kid to say that to me again. I don't want you to feel like that experience is so far out of your reach. Let me bring it closer. Let me put it right there in your palm of your hand so that you can remember it forever.
So these experiences, because I think, like I love hearing the basic side of things, but society and news and marketing just screams at us that we need more. You can't be content without more, more, more. Has it reflected into your own life to be just content with those simple things? Or is that still a struggle to want a fancy car or whatever new thing that's being advertised? Like just seeing all these...
For me...
Yeah. I'm just wondering like how it's related to your life at large.
Don't care, man. I'm what you call in Manchester. I'm going to give you another Manchester terminology. I'm what you call a scruff.
Scruff.
I'm a scruff.
Okay.
I'm scruff. So I don't... look at my wife loves cars. My wife's more man than me. I'm not going to lie. She loves cars. She loves fast cars. And do you know what I mean? I love my wellies at the weekend. I'm an outdoors person. So at the weekend, I wear my wellies. Yeah. I go into them.
Boots?
Yeah, Wellington boots. You know, like...
Okay, just translating. Yeah.
What do you call it in Canada?
Boots? Are they rubber boots?
Yeah, rubber, like waterproof. boots that you wear in the rain?
We're very creative in Canada. We call those rubber boots.
Yeah, rubber boots. Oh, that's rubbish.
Wellington boots.
Wellies. You know. Oh, you're from England. You know wellies.
Wellies.
What Paddington Bear wears? He wears red wellies.
Rubber boots. Yeah, those
Okay.
Oh my doctor, Wellingtons, get you. I'm gonna get you a pair. But like weekend, I'm in my wellies, Wellington, my rubber boots, and I like being outdoors, just in nature. I do a bit of fishing. I'm rubbish. I've been fishing for 6 years. I've never caught anything. I've never caught anything. I try my best though. But fishing. I recently bought a caravan.
Nice.
I bought a caravan. So I'm
A what, sir?
a caravan. Do you know what a caravan is?
Like a van?
No, a caravan. You know
Dr.
what-
Steve,
Is that like-
have a word with
Is
him.
that just
Yeah.
like, like it's not a mobile home? How it's another way to describe?
We'll show you a picture.
Motorhome.
No,
No,
it's you.
it's a motorhome without the motor, so you attach it to the back of your car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's like a
pull it.
trailer.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
trailer.
Camping trailer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, a tent trailer.
Yeah. So I bought one of them because we can just go to the Lake District in the countryside and we can pull up and then we can go paddle boarding or jump in the water and we can have barbecues on this. I'm an outdoors person, so but I think that's my way of just being really connected and grounded with life. Do you know what I mean? Just being I love people, but I deal with people all day. I deal with emotions all day. So if I do get the opportunity just to be in nature, it is the most tranquil, peaceful thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not into fancy things. I mean, I wish I was. I'm not one bit interested in like the glitz and the glam. And this is why I could have easily. I've got a big following on social media and all of that stuff. It doesn't mean nothing to me. I could have had 1 million followers 10 years ago. I made the decision not to. And what I mean by that was 10 years ago, I had different magazines and stuff wanting me to do cover shoots with my top off. No, it's not my. I'm never going to be that guy. I'm not trying to sell sex. I've said it 1 million times. So I could have done that stuff. Could have made the decision to go down that road. Every time you see me, I've got my top off and my shorts and doing the muscle thing. And then you get 1,000, 1 million followers dead quick. It's just probably pervy women and pervy men just talking sexual stuff about your physique.
Yeah.
I don't want to chat about my physique, chat about the work, chat about a legacy, chat about the beautiful things that you've seen, chat about empowerment, chat about confidence, chat about self-belief, chat about self-worth, chat about identity, chat about the things that I want. If you say my name, I want it to be linked with them things, not, oh, the big black guy from Manchester that deadlifts. You know what I mean? It's not about the physique. It's not about any of that stuff. And I've made the decision many years ago that I didn't want to go down that road. If I did get a following, if I did get a reputation, let it be about my amazing, I'd like to leave life-changing work. That's being a trailblazer in my field. And I'm glad I made that decision, man. I'm glad I made that decision.
We're running out of time, but I've just got one question that I really want to ask you before we go. And that's, do you have like any specific systems that, or any sayings or anything for anyone who's in that moment when they just want to quit and they've got to make that decision to quit or to keep going? Like, no matter what situation, no matter if you're able-bodied or not, or wherever you are, but you're in that moment and you just want to give up, what would you say? What can you say to people to help them make the decision to keep going?
Pain will cut through your family. Like a hot knife through butter. And what I mean by that is, it's not just you by yourself going through the pain. So whatever you're going through, your mummy, daddy, like we said before, there's a team of people who are going through every step of the journey with you. Don't put them through more pain. Use them as fuel. If you are looking to quit, I always say look to your family. No, but look at your family. Don't look to them as if to say, sit with your family and look at your family. No words needs to be spoken. Because I know for a fact, if I sat with my mum and dad and my brothers, and I said to them, I just want to give it all up. I don't want to do this anymore because of whatever. And I know just by the look in my mum and dad's eyes what that will do to them. And as a person, if you know somebody loves you and somebody is really supporting you, somebody's really backing you, once you get that, how important that is to other people. Once you get how important you are to other people, your happiness. Because I'm a dad now, like I said, and like you said before, Doctor, you learn a lot as a dad. And I've learned, like, I'll do anything for my boys, anything. And the thought of them being sad or going through anything, I take it personal. I seen something, oh my God, I seen something yesterday that made me cry. It was a little clip on TikTok. It was some little baby that's fallen down a well. They couldn't get him. And because the well thing was too narrow, so the mum and dad were hysterically crying. This young little boy who was thin enough volunteered to go down. I think it was in South America. He volunteered to go down. They tied a rope to him, fetched him down. He got the baby and he came out. And I'm sat there going, oh my God, imagine that. And I think when people are giving up, they need to understand. Once you understand how much you mean to people, every tear that you cry, your family members will feel that. Every pain, everything that you go through, I'd have given up doesn't become an option. Because if you truly love the person, if you truly love your loved ones, and you realize that, a lot of people don't realize how much I love they are. And this is a weird conversation that I've had with a lot of people, where you listen to them talk, you go, like the people that we spoke about before that have been suicidal. I'm talking to them and I go, no, your mum loves you. No, your mum will give anything to see you happy. And they're a bit shocked, and I'm like, your dad, your brother, your sister, your wife. And sometimes people forget how much they're loved. So I think if you are looking to give up, just dig as deep as you can and remember. And I'm praying to God that you find and can have a bit of a light bulb moment when you go, you know what? I'm actually really, really, really loved. And that should make you go, you know what? Because I'm loved, I can't quit.
I need to go hug my mom.
Do you know what I mean?
I love it. Javeno, I could just listen to you talk all day. Like, you're just magic.
Thank you for inviting me, guys. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much. And yeah, this has just been such a powerful episode.
So good. Yeah. It brings, we talk about science, which I love, but you just bring such an important human element to it all.
Yeah, we talk about the science and the soul. And we talk a lot about the science on this podcast. And I think this is one of the episodes where we've just got to the heart of the soul. Thank you so much. And then, to everybody still listening and watching, thank you so much. Any comments, please, any questions, we'll get Javeno to answer them. We'll tag everything in the show notes. And just in the meantime, this statement feels different somehow saying this now, but really do make every decision count.